What's up, family? Welcome back to Anything Alexia. My name's Alexia, and today we're gonna be watching a true story animation. And that story is called I Followed My Boyfriend to the Basement and Instantly Regretted It. Uh-oh, that don't sound too good. But before we start today's video, I need you all to smash that like button, smash that like button, smash that like button. And if you want to join our amazing family, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any of our videos.
My life is the epitome of a cliche. I grew up in a small town with both parents. They were best friends with the neighbors next door. These neighbors, you guessed it, had a son named Chad.
Uh-oh. We all know what happens with a best friend named Chad. Is he your best friend or your best boyfriend? Ooh.
Chad and I knew each other since we were babies, and our parents have the embarrassing pictures to prove it. We eventually started dating during high school.
And there we go. I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so.
I can't remember us ever having a fight, and I love the fact that he is so protective of me. Chad proposed to me on my 21st birthday party. After college, most of our friends went their separate ways. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, even though I got a degree in business management. Chad got an internship with Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦, and he didn't want to move without me by his side. He saw this as a great opportunity to make his name in the science arena. I took a job as a secretary in a law firm. It's not the job that I wanted, but Chad said that we all needed to start somewhere.
That's true. One day you start as a paperboy delivering the newspaper to people's doorsteps, and the next day you wake up as a McDonald's manager. Free chicken nuggets every day, all day? Now that's the dream.
I was just happy to get out of the apartment during the day. A few months after our move, I began having nightmares. Sometimes they would last days. Weeks may pass before the nightmare reared its ugly head, and every time I woke up dripping with sweat and screaming for help. "Monique, it's okay, I'm here," Chad whispered as he pulled me close. I usually wouldn't be able to go back to sleep after the nightmares, and Chad gave me a sedative so that I was able to get some rest. Chad said that my parents died in a fire, and the psychologist said that I'm suppressing my feelings about the incident.
Hold up. Did she just say Chad said that her parents in a fire? Are we saying that she doesn't really know for sure? Plus he gave her some magic pill to go to sleep? I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a bit creeped out. Just me?
And that's why I'm having nightmares. The next day, when I arrived home, I called out, "Chad, I'm home." I walked into the kitchen and saw Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦 and Chad in the middle of what looked like a tense conversation. "Is everything okay?" I asked, my eyes looking from Chad to Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦. "Oh, everything is fine, Monique," Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦 said as he got up from the kitchen table.
Family, tell me this. Do you trust those eyes? Cause to me, they look a little sketchy. And I'm not talking about the fact that his glasses are all crooked and probably too big for his face, but deeper into his eyes. Look into his soul. I think I see evil.
He turned to Chad. "I have a few things that I need to take care of at the office. We'll finish this discussion tomorrow." Chad walked Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦 to the door, and I grabbed a glass of juice from the fridge. "So, are you going to tell me what that's about?" I asked when Chad re-entered the kitchen. "It's nothing really. Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦 is just worried about a prototype that he's been working on. If he gets the grant, it would mean he could do so much more than he's doing now. It would also mean a bigger paycheck for me as well. I wish you and Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦 nothing but the best. I can't wait for him to get the grant either, since I would be able to get my basement back." About a month after we moved, Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦 asked Chad if he could store a few things down in the basement. Not only wasn't I allowed in the basement, but Chad held the only key to the basement. With Dr. 𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦 working extra hours on his prototype, it meant that Chad also worked extra hours. This meant that most weekends I was home alone. "I'm tired of sitting here doing nothing," I said. I grabbed my keys and decided that I would take a little road trip to the past. I wanted to see the house where I grew up. I missed my parents, and with my wedding coming up, I told Chad that we would go to the courthouse. I didn't want a big wedding. I left a note on the kitchen table for Chad and left. After 4 hours of sitting behind the wheel, I pulled up in front of the house that I grew up in. I was surprised to see it still standing. Chad said that my parents' house caught fire and they both died in the fire, but here stood the house just as I remembered it.
I knew it! That dude Chad is one big chunky liar. He's trying to play our girl Monique, and it's not cool, man. Not cool.
I walked up to the front door and knocked. My mother answered the door. "Mom?" I said as tears swelled up in my eyes. "How could this be?" My mother looked as though she had seen a ghost. My father came to the door. "Honey, who's at the door?" My father took one look at me and his entire mood shifted. Is this some sort of joke? Did someone put you up to this? Dad, what are you talking about? It's me, Monique. My voice cracked. You need to get off my property or I'll be calling the police. My dad said, then slammed the door in my face. I ran to the car and started the engine. Why didn't my parents recognize me? Why would my dad treat me like that?
And why aren't your parents like your boyfriend said they were? I have a lot of questions and not enough answers. Seems like Mr. Chad has a lot of explaining to do.
Why did Chad tell me my parents were dead? The loud horn of a car interrupted my thoughts. A car was coming directly towards me, but it was too late. Bang! I woke up in the hospital. Chad was sitting in a chair next to the bed. Hey, you, welcome back, Chad said as he reached out and squeezed my hand. Chad, I said hesitantly, why didn't you tell me that my parents were alive? Babe, it was for your own good, he said softly. What do you mean for my own good? They are my parents, for God's sake, I shouted. Dr. Herschel walked into the room. Did you know that my parents are alive as well? I quizzed Dr. Herschel. Dr. Herschel looked at Chad and pointed to the door. I watched as Dr. Herschel and Chad walked out of the room without answering my question.
And off to go to their secretive sneaky talks, where they're secretly plotting against Monique. Why else would they tell her that her parents were when they're actually alive? They are hiding something really big, and they don't want us to find out what it is. Oh man, I have a bad feeling about this one.
Where the hell do you think you're going? Chad, come back here, I yelled. I tried to get out of bed, but my legs ached. After a few moments, Chad and Dr. Herschel walked back into the room. We have to give you a sedative. You were in a car accident, and right now you are acting irrational. Chad will be able to answer any questions that you may have when you wake up, Dr. Herschel said calmly. Dr. Herschel walked towards me and injected my IV with the serum that was in the needle that he held. When I woke up, I was home in bed. I felt as though I was in a brain fog. Chad, are you here? I called from the bedroom. Yes, I'm here. Is something wrong? He asked with a puzzled look on his face as he walked into the bedroom. I'm not sure. I just feel a little out of it, I said. That's because you came down with the flu and you've been in bed for the past few days, babe, Chad said, concerned. I dreamt that I went to see Mom and Dad and they didn't recognize me, I said and placed my head in my hands and cried. I watched as Chad went to the bedroom closet. He used the stepladder to retrieve a CD. He didn't say anything as he placed it in the DVD player. He sat next to me and held me in his arms. There they were, my parents, next to each other in matching coffins. It was a DVD of my parents' funeral. Chad explained to me that my parents had passed away years ago. I couldn't believe it. Was I losing my mind?
No, you are not losing your mind, girl. Your boyfriend is trying to control you and is trying to manipulate you into thinking that you're crazy. I don't know what kind of stinky, sneaky, evil stuff he has up his sleeve, but you need to get to the bottom of it. Like right now. Well, actually about 2 years ago, when he first started feeding you these lies, before he gave you the crazy doctor juice that made you feel a little funny inside.
Why did I keep having these weird dreams? Eventually, mostly out of exhaustion, I went to sleep. The next morning, Chad wasn't at home. He left a note on the nightstand saying that he just needed to drop something for Dr. Herschel and he would be right back. I went to the closet and got the box with the DVDs. I saw one marked Monique's 21st birthday. A smile came to my face as I remembered that special night. I pushed the video in the player and laid in bed to watch. I giggled as I never realized how nervous Chad was when he proposed. But I realized something else as well. I had a small sunflower tattoo on my left upper arm, but it was no longer there. I lifted my shirt just to make sure that there was no tattoo. Where is my tattoo? Did I remove it? I asked myself. I contemplated telling Chad, but my gut told me that he wasn't going to tell me the truth. Something was up. I had had the weirdest dream last night, that I had been in a car accident. It had felt so real. Was it just a dream? I got out of bed and headed to the garage. My eyes widened as I looked at the driver's side of my door that had a mammoth-sized dent. I heard the front door open. Damn it, Chad is home, I mumbled. I snuck back into the house through the kitchen. Chad was in the bedroom. I ran towards the bathroom and opened and closed the door slowly. Just as I closed the door, a knock on the bathroom door startled me. Yeah? I asked, my heart pounding against my chest. I wonder if he saw me, I thought to myself in a panic. I inhaled deeply. Is everything okay? How are you feeling? Chad asked. I'm okay, I said, then flushed the toilet. I am feeling a bit lightheaded, though, I said as I washed my hands to continue my ruse. I opened the door and Chad was there waiting. Let me help you to the bedroom, then get you something to eat, okay? I nodded in agreement. Once Chad was out of the bedroom door, I got up and quickly returned the DVD to its place and went back to bed and pretended to be asleep.
Oh man, I'm getting a weird feeling in my tummy. I wish I knew what Chad was gonna do to her or the bad stuff he has planned. But I do know that this girl needs to get the heck out of there before it's too late.
I heard when Chad came back into the room. Monique, I brought you something to eat. I didn't answer. I still pretended to be asleep. Chad's phone rang and he answered. Hi, Dr. Herschel. What can I do for you? Silence. Then, yes, Dr. Herschel. I even showed her the DVD with the funeral. Silence. Okay, Dr. Herschel. When I get the package tomorrow, I'll place it in the basement for safekeeping. Goodbye, Dr. Herschel. Chad walked out of the bedroom and I opened my eyes and thought, what did I get myself mixed up in? Was this person even Chad? I had so many questions, but I knew that all of my answers were in the basement. I needed to know what was in the basement.
Don't go to the basement, girl. Don't go to the basement. Just leave and go see your parents who are most definitely alive and not, you know, because this dude Chad's been lying to you again, and not cool.
Chad's package arrives tomorrow. I need to get into that basement when he opens that door. I thought to myself, today I need to pretend that everything is okay. Luckily for me, I'm ill, so I can lay in bed for the rest of the day away from Chad. The day dragged. It felt as though 1,000 years had passed. I drifted into a restless sleep that night as I was awakened by nightmares. I shot up in bed and looked around wide-eyed as I tried to catch my breath. Chad was nowhere to be seen. I snuck out of bed and went in search of him. The apartment was empty. I went to the basement and turned the knob for the door. My heart jolted against my ribcage as I realized the door was open. I slid gingerly into the basement, but nothing could have prepared me for what I saw.
Oh man, family, what do we think's in the basement? A secret robot? An alien? 5 million pieces of Skittles? The Skittles would be nice. But okay, Alexia, focus, because we're about to uncover the deep, dark secret.
I wasn't the only girl in the basement. As I walked further into the basement, I counted at least 30 girls, 6 girls in 5 rows. What the hell, Chad? I gasped in disbelief. Each girl was attached to a tube and surrounded by a thick, transparent silicone. Each girl looked like me. Yes, Monique, they are clones. Chad's voice echoed behind me. I spun around. Why do you need clones of me? I asked angrily. Isn't one woman good enough for you? Chad looked sad as he continued to talk to me. You are also a clone, Monique. Chad began to walk towards me and I backed away from him. What do you mean I'm a clone? I cried. The real Monique died in a fire at work a few days after her 21st birthday. I didn't want to lose you, so I got into contact with Dr. Herschel, who was already working on a prototype of this same nature. That's what you and Dr. Herschel have been working on to obtain your grant? Making clones of me? I screamed. Can a clone do this? I said as I grabbed the tubes that were hanging closest to me. Gooey liquid from the tubes fell on me and on the floor around me. I continued to pull the tubes from the other clones as well before Chad tackled me to the ground. Monique, stop it. Can't you see why I did it? I couldn't bear to lose you, Chad said as he sat on top of me holding my arms. I heard another voice at the top of the basement stairs. It's a good thing I was still here, Dr. Herschel said sharply. He walked over to Chad and I. He leaned over to me and said, I've been working on this prototype for years, and you, my dear, are the final piece that I have been waiting for. I'm not going to allow any clone to mess this up for me.
So she really is a clone?
Dr. Herschel spoke to Chad. The next time we bring her back, we will eliminate her parents for good, so that when she goes to visit, they really wouldn't be there. I watched in horror as Dr. Herschel injected me with a serum. My world became black. I tossed and turned, and finally I opened my eyes groggily. Hey, beautiful, how you feeling? Chad asked as he leaned over to kiss me good morning. I smiled and hugged him. I feel good, I replied sweetly.
What? It ends there? How are we supposed to know if she ever gets away from the psycho Chad and the crazy clone doctor? How are we supposed to know if she lost all her memories from the past or if she remembers all the crazy stuff she saw in the basement? How are we supposed to know if Monique's parents are safe? All I know is this story is an example of love maybe gone a little too far, if we can even call it love, because to be honest, I think it's more psycho. But anyways, family, that is all of the true story animation that I have for you today. If you liked today's video, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you want to join our amazing family, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next video.